Hello, everybody. Welcome to a new Twitch and YouTube stream about Hattrick. Today, though, we will not talk about the game itself for once, but about a project that started a few weeks, or actually say a few months ago, and that will be released next year in 2027, coinciding with the 30th Hattrick anniversary. It's the Hattrick book. And for this, I will be joined today by two key people in this project. First of all, let me welcome our CEO, HT Johan, a very familiar face to you all. Hi, Johan. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you. Thank you so much.
I see you look very Christmassy.
Yeah, I guess it's the last week I can wear this beautiful sweater.
How were the Christmas holidays?
It was very calm and peaceful. Yeah, I finally paid down my sleep debt, so now I'm expanding on it again.
So, besides Johan, we also have a new face with us today, the editor responsible for most of the text in the book. The guy is Martí, a writer that goes by the name ElGat in Hattrick. Welcome, Martí.
Hi, Chase. How are you guys doing?
Fine here. I think we'd like to know you. Everybody would like to know you a little bit more. First of all, you're a Hattrick press editor, right?
Yeah, I've been the editor for the Catalan language for 6 or 7 years at this point. I mean, it's not a lot of activity, but we still get a decent number of texts every now and then, and some interesting interviews with people from the community. And then I've also been involved in several projects within the community, Kickstarters, stuff that Johan could have sued me for, but he did not. I was very thankful for that. We did some merch within the community down here. So yeah, it's just very nice to be here with you all.
So you're working part-time on the book since spring 2025, was it?
Yeah, more or less. I think it really picked up following the summer. But it's been an idea that it's been in the works for some time. And after, especially during May, June, we really picked up a little bit the pace. And at first, you see it very far in the future because it's like, 27, you have 2 full years. But suddenly, you know, like this is getting more real, and it's very exciting. I think everyone will love it, and it's very nice to be able to talk about it publicly for the first time.
Yeah, you've probably been very eager to talk about it for months because it's something it's been kept secret until now. So what do you do besides the work on this book? What do you do when you're not focused on the Hattrick book?
I'm a journalist, so I mean, even though these days you are more of a content creator, you end up doing all sorts of stuff. But I work with racing stuff, with automotive stuff. So I will be doing anything that ranges from texts to videos to occasional broadcasting and commentary on TV even. That's more remote, but I do some stuff there. So it's more car related. But Hattrick has always been there in the background. I've been playing this thing since I was in primary school. So that thing came first, definitely. And I think that it's one of the cool things about this game, that you realize that everyone has very different backgrounds and everyone comes from a very different place, but suddenly you have this common ground. And that's a very cool thing to see because suddenly you discover all sorts of interesting stories. And that's quite unique, I think, in this case.
Okay, so I think the first question about the book would be, what's the purpose of it? Why are we doing this? What can you say, Johan?
Well, I mean, it was always a dream somehow for me to do it, and I've like come across many times when I've heard anecdotes or I shared anecdotes about Hattrick, you know, with people inside the community or outside, and you know, you kind of say, well, you know, this should go into the book, just, you know, because somehow we have assumed that at some point there will be a book, and we did quite a lot of work on a book for the 10th anniversary and for lots of reasons, which will be explained in the book. there was never a book for the 10th anniversary. And then another 20 years has soon passed, and there's way many more things to tell. And now it's like almost the point where if we don't get this down on paper, it will be forgotten forever, because it's already really, really hard to like dig down and remember how everything happened. And there's it's a lot of interesting things that have happened along the way, not just interesting from a Hattrick nerd point of view, like also like about how the world has changed and how people have people that have come and gone, so to say. So I think like really my main hope is that we can tell the story about the whole thing that is Hattrick. It's not just the game itself or a company or the developers. It's really like all the people that have come and gone, and all those cool stories that has happened around Hattrick. So it's a book about the community. I think that's the main thing, and I think it has to happen now. Otherwise, it won't happen. Yeah.
So now that you mention all this, maybe we should explain to our viewers what we'll have in the book. Would there be stories about the community, the story of Hattrick? What can we say?
You want to take it, Johan?
Yeah, I can just. I mean, it's still a work in progress, but I think like the main conclusion we have so far is that there would be a series of chapters that kind of are chronological in a way, but like also focus on certain aspects of the whole Hattrick journey. So it will dip into technology, we'll dip into important people that have been around, and business model and game design, and the world around Hattrick, like all the booms and busts that have affected us in the landscape around us, and technologies that have happened and so on. So like there is a lot of things, but then I also think that, and we're gonna try hard to always to do this through personal stories. It's not a list of facts. It's like we're gonna find the people that were involved and to find the stories that they want to share, and some of them haven't been connected to Hattrick in a long time, but and some of them are, and surprising amount are still here, but doesn't really matter so much. We want to find those stories. So yeah, there will be it will be possible to read it from start to finish, or you just look through it and dip down and can read anecdotes and just about the countries or the themes that are interested in, and we'll really try to make it attractive in terms of design, and it's going to be a real book, something that you can keep on your coffee table.
So maybe Martí can tell us a bit about what kind of stories we can find in the book. Of course, no spoilers, but anything that can be said.
I mean, from the community standpoint, like the number of stories that we have developed so far, I would say that most of them are surprising. In the end, what we are looking here, it's quite a big challenge, because you want to paint a picture of what Hattrick is like, and this implies being aware that it is a global sport, a global website, a global community, and you have to keep that in mind. but we have found several interesting stories. So I think that people will, more than anything, they will get to know people, and they will find out that they are interesting and unique in a way. And that does not imply necessarily that they have cracked the code and they have won 10 Hattrick Masters in a row. It's just that their story is, very human and special, and there's something, singular about them. So I think, we have talked to people from Indonesia already to Europe. Obviously, we have quite a few already. We have also people in South America, and more people will be coming along. I think that now, especially that we are disclosing it. I've been spamming so many people that it's a wonder that I've not been banned from the game so far. but I think that we will definitely be able to capture more stories. And yeah, it's in a way it's a bit of a tricky challenge because every story is meaningful, and we will probably have to cherry pick and try to come up with something that fits the purpose of the book. But I really think that we will find interesting stuff. And then on the Hattrick story side, from the game standpoint, I think that people can expect something that will be a much bigger dive into the story from what you can get if you Google the wiki, or if you go to the history page. I think that people will get a better understanding of the people behind the game, the situation at every moment in history. So I think that it's a game for nerds like us. Like we've been playing this game for 20 years. There's no way to hide. But hopefully it's also going to be a nice book that you can lend to your significant other and be like, okay, so this is the game that I play, and the humanity within the book will come up, and they will also be able to find it interesting. So that's hopefully something that we can accomplish.
Yeah.
And you have already written quite a few articles of the book, right? Or chapters.
Yeah. We are halfway into the process right now. So we do have quite a bit of stuff already developed. And now, especially with the community side of the articles, I think that now that we are disclosing it and there's going to be a forum and people will be able to, take a step forward and say, hello, I exist, we will be able to spot many interesting stuff that can be valuable. And yeah, it's a fun process, I think. And at the same time, it's quite a big thing because this game is so important to everyone that you, of course, want to make it good. Like you don't want to disappoint. But so far, I think that we can do something that is interesting. So yeah, we will give it a try.
So you mentioned that we don't want to disappoint. One of the important things not to disappoint is the format of the book. What can we say about it?
Well, Johan said it that the most important thing is that I think that it will feel familiar, like it's going to be a print book, but we do want to have some Hattrickness into it. It makes sense that, the Hattrick designer is involved very heavily in this project. So I think that everyone who plays the game will immediately recognize the book. It's not going to feel like an alien thing. And we can also expect photography to be, a big role. And that's something that we can hopefully talk about it later today. But of course, there's going to be a number of stories, and hopefully you will also be able to see who we are talking about. It's not going to be only text. So it's also going to be some visual elements into it. So yeah, on the designer side, I think that we are very well covered, and it's going to look great. I think so far the previous promising.
You can mention that Beach, who is the designer and illustrator, he has done a lot of book projects himself. Even as very similar projects to what we are trying to do. So he's really a great asset in this, and not only for the drawing skills. So yeah, I think we're in good hands there.
So it would be a very nice book, big, I guess. And
that's the goal, and more than anything, we want it to be interesting and beautiful and nice. So yeah, that's definitely the goal.
With
it's a little early to talk about exactly the number of pages, but we're gonna have a thick book, I think, and with a lot of content, and we'll see how much, but more details to follow, of course.
So the other question that maybe users want to know is how they can get the book, but since it hasn't even started, we just started thinking about the book, and Martí has started writing articles.
Yeah, maybe we should just explain the overall project a little bit. I mean, obviously, this is for the 30th anniversary of Hattrick, right? So this happens in August 27. So this book will not be published this year. Obviously, it will happen next year. But the main problem with a project like this is that you need to know quite early that you're gonna have enough people buying it, so that you have the courage to do the whole production and print it, right? Even if you don't know exactly the final number of copies that you're gonna print. So that's why we're gonna do what almost everyone in our situation does these days, and that is to have a Kickstarter. So we're gonna give people a chance to commit to buying it early, and then we will know that those copies will be sold when the book is ready. So yeah, that's basically the idea. That this year we're gonna have a Kickstarter where we explain in detail what is the minimum that you will get if you buy the book. Hopefully we can over deliver on that, but we don't know. But I have a very good feeling. I mean, I'm absolutely certain that there will be enough people interested in this book for us to do the project. So I don't have any real doubt about that, because it's not that crazy amount of books that you need to print to do it. But for example, the one of the first questions that came up, and that is keeping coming up here, is will it be translated to Spanish, to Italian? And that is something that we also need to know now. Like at this stage, we can use a Kickstarter to get an idea of how many would, for example, pay for a Spanish version of the book, and then we can plan for that. So all these things we need to know about this year. Yeah, so the Kickstarter happens this year, and then next year we're gonna publish the book in time for the Hattrick anniversary, probably.
So there can be different languages for the book, not only Spanish or English. We may open different Kickstarters for different languages, and if some of these languages don't reach the goal, users can still have a chance to pledge for the English version. So
yeah, the basic concept of a Kickstarter is that you pledge for something, and if that product doesn't get enough pledges, you don't pay, and the product doesn't happen, so you don't take a risk. It's not like you have to pay for something and then you find out much later that it was not gonna happen. So it's quite a nice setup for that. But yeah, so what we have discussed is to have separate Kickstarters for each language that might be interesting, and then if those the separate languages the minor languages doesn't happen, so to say, that there will always be the English that you can then decide to pledge for. But yeah, maybe we're going into too much details now, but I just wanted to mention that the publishing will not happen until next year, but this year it will be very active, because we will have Kickstarter, and we will also really try to invite everyone to participate and contribute to the book while we're still writing. Yeah, we can get new ideas and stuff into the book.
There's one suggestion about a Kickstarter reward from Hail to the Deacon. I think it's quite funny. We could print the entire manual on a huge page. How many pages would we need for that? I mean, it would take the whole book.
I mean, wasn't it like 30,000 words, the manual? I think.
I don't know. It's huge.
Yeah. It's. I mean, it would be an interesting stuff. I mean, for the rewards, we will not be disclosing anything today. But what we can say is that we already have several ideas, and there's gonna be lots of interesting stuff. So we are presenting, like, this is the Hattrick book project, but it's not only gonna be the book. Like the book is gonna have a few little friends coming along with the Kickstarter, and I think that. Once we are able to fully disclose that, I think that there's especially one thing that the people that've been in the game the longest will appreciate a lot, and yeah, it's gonna be cool. I think it's gonna be very cool.
So one of the things that we're doing today, too, besides this stream, is opening a forum for the Hattrick book project. And everyone can join, all of you who are listening, watching here, or those who watch it on YouTube. You can join. Actually, we have created a thread on the global forum, the global English forum. And there we will talk about the book. We will answer to questions. We'll give some updates, on regular updates every time that we have them. But also at the same time, we will now, in a few minutes, post a link to the 2 threads that we have already opened in the Hattrick book forum, which is a different forum just dedicated to this book. And in this thread, we will be looking for stories that may be interesting and relevant for the book, and photographers too, because we need nice photography. I would say almost all around the world, right, Martí?
I mean, it's going to be an interesting thing. Like, we will become a travel company with this project. But yeah, definitely. The thing is that, of course, when we mention photography, we mentioned that there's going to be, as we said, different articles about individuals from the community. And then the idea is that if you are featured in the book and we write a feature or include your story or we do something, like, there should be some photos to that. And we definitely, and this has been a priority from day one, we want the images to, be professional, look good, and we want to elevate the book a little bit through that. And for that, we are obviously, the 3 of us here, like we are not good at that, so we need a little bit of help. And I think that it's also like a nice opportunity because the good thing is that the community is so vast that there is likely people here that is either a professional photographer or just a great enthusiast on this subject. So it's probably like a good opportunity to work together and do something. And it's going to be a process. So yeah, I think that today, given that we announced it, it's when we are going to be starting to take in submissions and applications. But further down the line, we will definitely be talking to people, and if we can make it happen, we will come up with a plan. So people will go from A to B and don't get lost.
And it doesn't need to be a photographer that is in the Hattrick community. So if you have a friend or that is just a great, photographer, especially in with portraits or like documentary style journalistic photography, because we want these photographers to go around and capture the essence of places where Hattrick is played, basically. I think this could be a really cool project to be part of. So we will be really happy to get some ideas.
Yeah, because I think we will need many photographers from many places.
Well, yes and no, because we talked a lot about this, and it's quite important, I think, to ideally we have the same photographer do as much as possible, because we want to have a feeling that is consistent.
Mhm.
I think the risk a little bit with having too many involved is that it's going to look a little bit all over the place. But of course, it's not going to be possible just with one photographer, probably in the end. But it would be super nice to have to find someone that really does great work. So
yeah, but that person will have to travel quite a lot, because we have lots of articles from people from all around the world. So
yeah, I mean,
So,
like
gonna
only
be-
in,
yeah, the main photographer we pick will have to travel for sure. But then it's a discussion if he or she will do all of them.
yeah, but for example, already within Europe, we are talking of Sweden, obviously, Norway, the UK. We have Slovenia, we have Romania. There's gonna be more. So I mean, so it's definitely gonna be quite a thing, quite a big project. So I think it's very exciting, and hopefully we will be able to meet some talents. And yeah, that's definitely the what we will be in the following weeks, waiting for submissions, and after that we will just get together, look through every portfolio, and see what we feel is best for the project.
That's yeah, and of course also ideas for stories, anecdotes, all these things, big and small. We're interested in everything that you think might fit into the book.
yeah, because since the book will have so many pages, and there's space for all kinds of stories, like long stories, but even maybe if we have some story that it doesn't take like more than 2-3 paragraphs, it can be many.
Yeah, exactly. No, I think the way I was talking. Yeah, this is more like a brainstorming thing, but like there could be, for example, an article about different how people have created worked on ways to create more life for their teams, there was one user who wrote a book about his team. Okay, there are people that have made music, they have made homepages, they have created art and so on. So there's a lot of these things, but maybe you don't write an article about each of these cases, but it can be like an article about this kind of activity, this kind of creativity about there's a certain type of user who really likes the story behind, in between the numbers, whereas other users only care about the numbers, right? But so I mean, in an article like that, you might want to pick up even small things and mention it, and so but it fits, to explain the bigger story, so to say. Just an example.
Perfect. So when someone who's a photographer, for instance, or wants to submit an article, what should they do? They should go to the forum, and then, for instance, in the case of photographers, we need a portfolio, I guess. And in the case of stories or interesting anecdotes, what do you need, Martí, in order to cherry pick?
I would say that at this point it's just a glimpse into each one's story. Like what is special, no? Like we all have a special way to frame our relationship to Hattrick, and I'm just looking for that. Like, of course, like I'm not looking for the entire article already, because that would be asking a lot of people, a lot from people, and I don't want to have someone go through like a super long text, because at this point is not necessary, but it's just a little summary. For example, in the forum that you will find for the book, I've started a thread for that, and I've shared like 2 or 3 paragraphs of why Hattrick is meaningful to me, for example. Not that I'm going to be telling that in the book, but it's just a little bit the length that that you can get. So people is invited to either contribute by replying to the forums, or if they feel like they want to talk about personal stuff that they don't feel like sharing publicly so that other people read. I've also dropped my email address there, so they can also reach out privately. And yeah, it just having all those like little summaries will be very useful to have like an overview, and after that will come the very tricky task of selecting. And of course, it's painful because you would want to include every story, but people can imagine that there's some logical constraints to it. But it's gonna be more than anything, it's just gonna be a super interesting way to get to know people. So yeah, I would say like just why Hattrick is meaningful to you. Like maybe it's because you play from a very remote area, or you've been playing it since forever, or you work for the the army and you will play Hattrick in a bunker. Like who knows? Like, we are looking for the unexpected stuff. So yeah, it's not really about winning the Hattrick Masters necessarily. Like everyone has a space here, and yeah, I think that we will find plenty of stuff.
Yeah,
But
and I
of
think
course,
also like that's, I don't think we might also prompt. So like if you're interested in the project, you could just follow the forum, even if you don't think you have anything to contribute. But then we might share an article, or we might put out a question about something that maybe you didn't expect would be in the book. And then it turns out that you actually have a story to tell, or you heard about something that fits with that. So I don't think, I mean, I think a lot of this, it's more for us like to anchor this now. This is happening and this is going to keep happening. We're going to work on this for a year. And, we're probably going to be adding stuff, for quite a long time still. So, and some of it might even be, published in other forms. I don't know, but there's going to be a lot in the book.
Sure. But of course, I mean, I guess all these stories that will be featured will have some nice content and interest. It will not just this user was born there and he started playing Hattrick in 2000 whatever, and he now has this team and he's happy. I guess we need something else, right?
Yeah, I mean that's a tricky thing. Like everyone is important, but of course, like it's very tricky to make a selection. But that's also part of the process. So yeah, I think that the idea is that we can paint like the bigger picture of what the Hattrick community looks like, and that you can look at the map and be like, okay, so I'm in this remote area of the world, and here we have this individual who plays Hattrick this way, and he has done this and that, and there's quite a lot of stuff. And I think that the ones that we have been talking to, and that the articles that we've prepared so far, I think that many of them are unexpected, I think.
Yep.
And that's also part of the magic, no? Like, of course, like we all know that we all love the game. We just want to go a little bit deeper. But it's a nice thing. It's a nice process. And I think that we will come up with something that, again, like it will be interesting to us, the managers, but it will also be interesting if you share the book with someone. I think that we will be able to capture this feeling of community, of it's a game that has been existing for 3 decades, and in the internet age, that's unheard of. So yeah, I think it's going to be very cool.
Yeah, and I don't know if people want to know a bit more about any story. I don't know if we can disclose any topic that we have covered so far. Like maybe not a spoiler about any story, but I mean because. I'm trying to see it from outside. It's like, okay, yes, people playing Hattrick, yeah, but I've read many of the things, and this is really interesting. It's really powerful. So what can we say?
Yeah, I mean, we can. I mean, it ranges. Like we have from 2 brothers who are sailors, and they spend half the year at the sea. And they've been doing that for many, many years. And they've been, older brother, younger brother, teasing each other all their lives. And all of a sudden, one gets into Hattrick, and all of a sudden, the other one gets to. And they play with the worst internet you can imagine. But they are at the sea in the middle of the storm, and they send messages to each other. So we will be going a little bit through their story. Where do they come from? I think that that is, for example, one example of stuff that we are dealing with. We have, people in conflict in areas of the world that have been involved in wars. We have so far we've written 2 articles on that. So yeah, I think it's interesting. And then we will also have the heavyweight classics, like really either important players in the game or really meaningful parts of the history of the game that we think a single individual can interpret better. So I think that we are open to hearing from people, and hopefully we can take it from there.
Actually, let me highlight a message that has just been written by Burst. There's a blind community with lots of users. Maybe their story could be good. Most of them are from Indonesia, if I remember right.
Yeah, that one is included.
This one is already done.
Yeah, that one. It was super lovely to talk to them.
Yeah.
It was super lovely to, and we had some translators along the way, also from the community. So we will be hearing about them, and it's incredible what they've got going on right there. Like it's incredible the energy and how they help each other. And it's true that they talk about it on the forums. So if people search for that, they will find it. But I think that with this bringing it to an article, I think that we can bring more attention to it, and we can go also a little bit deeper. And yeah, it's that case in particular we've covered.
So it must have been funny to see you having that interview with a group of Indonesian blind people with some translator in between.
No, it was a nice conversation, and especially first we did it via Zoom, and there was this Hattrick manager who spoke English because obviously we got lost in translation, so we got some questions back and forth, and after a while we went a bit deeper with just email because it was, given the difference in language. Usually, whenever I've been interviewing people, I love to do it with Zoom because it's much better than doing it by email. You can go much deeper in detail, but in this case in particular, because of the language, it made a lot of sense to make it written. But it's that article we've covered, and yeah, I would say that it's one of the most impressive things you can find in the entire Hattrick world. So yeah, without a doubt.
So if you guys have any questions, I think we've mostly covered everything we wanted to say. I don't know if Martí or Johan have anything that you would like to add, but I have a list of topics and we've covered everything.
No, I mean, from my side, just saying that Johan has a great memory, which is very handy for this project in particular. And yeah, like it's, I don't remember what I had for dinner 2 days ago, but somehow he manages to remember everything.
It turns out that some of these things I remember wrong. So it luckily I also have a lot of my emails saved from that time, so I can go back and check myself.
Yeah.
So there's actually one question that I find interesting here. Will we finally get to see Bob Sunason's face in this book? That would be revealing the best kept secret in the history of the game. We don't need to reply now, but it's something maybe we can consider.
Yeah.
Why not? I don't know if it should be as pixelated as in that time, because I don't think Bob Sunason ever had any of the new faces. He was only those tiny pixels covered in cat and bricks and newspapers and jugs. So
no, but I'm sure if Bitch could find a way to adjust it if necessary. But
or
yeah,
not.
definitely.
Or not. Maybe we can keep the secret.
Yeah. There is some.
Get the story of the murder of Bob Sunason instead. What happened to Bob Sunason? Where is he today? Who is responsible?
Maybe a small article about Bob Sunason for those who don't know him. would be interesting.
It's true that there is some stuff that was meant for the 10th anniversary book that was written originally for the 10th anniversary book. And then once that project was cancelled, some of the stuff was released. So there is, in fact, like an article on Bob Sanderson that was meant for the book, for the 10th anniversary book. But we will likely be doing something, either including like that or going back to the manager at the time and reworking it. But yeah, it's definitely it's the most iconic player besides Apache. I mean, this one is iconic because he's so bad. But yeah.
So for the Argentinian users, is Apache featured in the book?
Yeah,
Can you say
definitely.
anything?
Yeah. And it's that
so
one.
The Kickstarter in Spanish, it's fulfilled. We can say it's fulfilled only with the Argentinians who love the Apache.
No, and it's super. That one in particular is really cool because it's like the manager who handles him, Nacho. He plays Hattrick in such a unique way because he has devoted his a big part of his Hattrick life to boosting the Apache stats. I mean, most people know it, like it's the most prolific striker in the history of Hattrick. But more than the goals themselves, it's just the work that goes to make it happen. Like he's basically a dinosaur, and he never gets injured. And there's a whole tactic to make that happen. Like there's a whole logic why that's the case. And it's a really cool thing. So we have some more stuff from South America, but the Apache was obviously the in terms of successful players, it's definitely the one.
And there's this question about Adam, from Adam Lalana. Did you interview former users or only active?
I mean, we are not limited. I think there is definitely going to be a blend. For example, for this project, we've definitely reached out to former collaborators. So people that maybe have not involved in Hattrick in a long time. For example, why is the Hattrick logo designed like it is? So we've talked to the guy who did it 20 plus years ago, and he explains the logic behind the entire design of the Hattrick logo. And there's been a long time ever since. And regarding the users, it's true that sometimes it's trickier to get in touch because, of course, like if they leave the game, it's much trickier. But if we feel like, if we can find a way to reach out to people, we will definitely. I mean, we can talk about it. Like 6 years ago, I interviewed you, Chase, for Hattrick Press, and I basically stalked you down through the internet to find you.
And you did
because it was the anniversary of the Catalan translation in Hattrick, and you were the one in charge. And it's like, oh yeah, let's write a Hattrick Press about it. And I follow really with. So if possible to reach out to people, it's definitely a plus.
You're a good investigator.
Yeah, it's just Googling.
or I'm so easy to find.
No, but it's definitely, if we can reach out to former users, and of course the story fits, it's definitely worth it. But there's also a very surprising amount of people that have been around even since 97. Like there's around 15-20 people that have been around since the second season of Hattrick, which is insane. So yeah, there's still lots of active people from those years.
So guys, if you have any questions, I see one question that is not related about the book, which is there a possibility to get access to all or most of the HD graphics, like on the supporter page or the international page, to use them, for example, on Instagram? Maybe this question, we can answer it somewhere else so that we can show some links. I mean, you can write to me via HTML. Some of it may be available. There's always the option of, right click with the mouse, download or copy or whatever you do. But I don't know how to reply to that here in the stream.
Yeah.
I think we at some point we had like a download page with some assets.
Still active. Yeah.
there's the logo there and a few images that are actually a bit old and not Hattrick style anymore. But yeah.
We should
So,
fix that.
Red John, if you write to me via HTML, I'll see what links I can send you. So if you don't have any more questions or anything that Johan and Martí, if you have anything that we have to say and we have forgotten, if not, we can just call it a day. And well, Teles has just arrived. You can repeat this if he wants. For him, will we have the book translated in some languages? Hopefully, yes. We will open a Kickstarter in different languages, and if we reach the goal, the book will be released in that language. So if you know how a Kickstarter works, it is, which we already explained, you pledge for it, which means that you kind of save the right to buy that product without paying yet. And if the goal is fulfilled, then the payment is done. And in this case, the book is manufactured. And if in any language we don't reach the goal, there is no payment involved. But then the English version will still be available after the other languages are finished, so that if one language doesn't fulfill the goal, you can at least pledge for the book in English.
Yeah.
And I guess that's it.
There will be a chance to buy the book later, but the best price would be if you buy it on the Kickstarter. So that's also like something we can, promise or threaten with. But that's how it works. So if you know that you want to get it, it's going to be a good idea to get it then. They were asking if Martí has a team, but you mentioned that you have played for a long time already.
No, people can look the stats and laugh at me because it's objectively awful.
You've been playing for quite a few years.
Yeah, no. I mean, I've reached 3rd division in Spain at most, and that was already a stretch. So never further than that. But it's I've been playing since 2004. Basically, took a little break in between of a year and a half, but that's quite some time. And we've just like you guys, we've all won big trophies here, like that. but yeah, I think it's. I mean, hopefully, I think that today we just disclose it and we can be able to talk about it, which feels great, and open up the forum. And I think that as the months go on, we will definitely be able to talk in more detail. And I think, and I'm quite convinced that when the Kickstarter comes around and we can disclose the little bundles that we have prepared, people will see that both, like from the very beginning, you will get an incredible value for money. Because the best there's lots of stuff already included from the very beginning, probably, and they're gonna be able to see exactly what we are, talking about from a visual standpoint, and it's gonna look great.
Exactly. And we have a follow-up question from Teles. General on Kickstarter, you choose a package, but if I want 2 translations, will it be possible? Yes, because we'll have separate Kickstarters for each language. So you can pledge for both Kickstarters differently. And we'll probably we'll have different tiers. You choose the tier you want in each language.
But if you're planning to pledge on both on French and English, then you can wait and pledge on the English, because that's going to be open after the French closes, for example.
Yeah, but if you know that you want both, go for it.
Yeah. No.
And that's an interesting suggestion. Not sure what the graphics versus text split will be in the book, but maybe you could release an ebook or audiobook version as well. H. Chase could narrate it in his free time. Or someone else. Now I think of it. We have some LA who who could narrate it in a better accent than I would. But yeah, that's interesting suggestion.
Yeah, definitely. I think the graphic versus text split, like we have developed like some samples for a few chapters. So we've already seen like a little bit the style that we're going for. And I think that more than anything, like the goal is to make it feel familiar. You know, like it's going to be a different format because this is not the digital world. It's going to be a physical one. But the goal is to make it feel like Hattrick. And I think that we will be able to accomplish that. So yeah, I think it's going to be quite cool. And yeah, we will see exactly how it all comes down further down the line as we get closer in the moment to make the final decisions. But yeah, it's going to be quite interesting.
Yeah.
About ebooks and audiobooks, I mean, we haven't talked about that at all, and I think I don't think we want to think about it either right now. It's quite enough to do this well, you know, the printed book, but it's possible after, maybe as a follow-up project, maybe, but I don't I don't want to say I promise that for sure.
Perfect. Okay, so if you guys agree, we can just call it a day for today. And thank everyone for the questions, for following this stream. Of course, thanks and welcome to Martí, and thanks to Johan as well. And if you want to keep following the evolution of this project, you can follow the thread in Global, which was open a couple of hours ago. And if you want to contribute with nice stories, with a link to a friend who's a photographer, or if you're a photographer yourself, we will have we have a forum dedicated to the Hattrick book, which will now I will link in that thread in Global. So thank you everyone for joining us, and see you pretty soon in a new stream.
Yes.
Yeah. And if you're a great photographer or you have a great friend, just tell them about the project. And it's going to happen in the next few weeks that we're going to be choosing. So just let's get that done.
Exactly. Thanks everyone.
Cool. Bye-bye.
Bye.